Do y'all have Walmart in Canada?
Yes, we have Walmart in
Okay.
Canada.
I didn't know if that was like an American thing.
We had Target for a while, and then it failed. I still
Yeah,
don't know why. Yeah.
Target is
Um,
expensive as shit. Like for no reason. Target sucks ass.
all
Um,
right, you say that, but like, fuck, everything's cheap as shit at Target when we go over there, right?
well, yeah,
Comparatively,
yeah. I
our
mean,
dollar is shit.
well, that's the beauty of the difference between like America and Canada. Like earlier, before I turned it to Incredibles 2, I had Turning Red playing, which phenomenal movie. Takes place
Yep.
in Toronto, which, as we all know, is the only city in Canada.
Yeah, fucking twats. I hate those bitches. It's like the
uh,
fucking Detroit of Canada. I say from the fucking Detroit of Canada. Um, I guess what? No, what's the analogous city for? Because I'm from Winnipeg, right? I'm like right in the middle, dead center.
yeah,
We're like the Idaho slash like no one knows, no one cares about us at all. But we're also the murder capital of Canada. So
I would
it's like,
say that's like Cincinnati.
uh, I see.
Fucking
Because like
Cincinnati.
because every time anyone says like, "Oh, don't go to blank because there's so many murders, there's so many stabbings, whatever," it's always us. But other than that, no one ever knows about us or cares or at all.
That's fair.
We got
That's
a lot of
fair.
trains though.
If it makes you feel any better about the state of your city, I believe Winnipeg is the capital of Manitoba, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If it makes you feel any better, I'm from a small town in the great state of North Carolina, which I'm fine
Uh,
doxing because I don't live there anymore. But the
nice.
nickname of this town is Shotsbury because so many people get fucking shot there. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Plus, it's just fentanyl deaths. So many fentanyl deaths.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Fucking opiate epidemic, so bad. I'd say like
Hmm.
the best to compare Toronto to, and I've heard this from people who have like lived both in like both of these cities, which they have to be fucking rich because I know the home prices in Toronto are fucking
Please help me. I will never be
abysmal.
able to afford a house. I will never be able to afford a house.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like recently I keep up with Canadian news because your country is so much better. It's like the United States, if the United States didn't have like this crazy ass political wing attached to us and we could actually sometimes get shit done.
Hey, we
Um
have three. We have multiple parties. We don't just have two.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
fucking awesome.
You have the liberals, the conservatives, the greens, so I've heard the greens are like a little fringe. The fucking NDP. I wish I
Yeah,
could vote
the
NDP.
NDP are beast as fuck. Jagmeet Singh is like amazing. Loving
Yeah.
that man. Yeah, no, the Greens are like they're like they're kind of cool. They got a lot of like they're very environment, but they're like really eco-fascisty, and they
Yeah.
align themselves with the ethno-state Quebecers because we have okay. You know Quebec, obviously, right?
Yeah, fuck the Quebec. The
They have
Quebecois.
yeah, they have an entire political party just for Quebec.
Yep, Bloc Quebecois. Yep.
And they're the ethno state people. They want to secede and make their own little ethno state and keep all the English out. And it's fucking hilarious to see because it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
But they are so goddamn racist. And I don't know what the ism for French people to English. I guess that's just called history. But um,
Yeah. I mean, honestly, fucking, I don't know. It's like so weird because let me put it like this: if the United States had, oh god, that was a voice crack. If the United States had like a state, or like a collection of states, since Quebec, I'm pretty sure it's like your third largest province in population, third or second. If we
in
had,
populate, yeah, yeah.
yeah, if we had like an entire like state like that, that were like fairly culturally different, spoke a different language, and were like really agitated about like wanting to separate and like signaling at that. Let me put it like this: they would have been wiped out in the 1870s.
This is true. The only reason Canada didn't is because they didn't have the manpower, and they were already dealing with the indigenous.
Yeah,
And turns out, genociding the indigenous and building a railroad at the same time it takes precedent over subjugating the French,
if
but
I'm
also is shitty.
that's so
But
funny. We did the well. It's not funny. But have you ever heard of like the Trail of Tears?
Yes, I've heard of the Trail of Tears,
Yeah,
actually.
that's what we did that for, so that we could do the fucking transcontinental railroad because
Yep.
America.
No, we didn't want to get the work or even use the indigenous people as slaves. We wanted to genocide them, right? So all we did was steal all their children, put them in Catholic schools, and take them from when they were essentially 5 until 18, never let them see their parents, and raise them Catholic to culturally genocide them. And this is quoted by our first prime minister. He was intentionally making a cultural genocide. And so rather than use them as workers or slaves to build our railroad, we imported Chinese workers and promised them land after they built the railroads. And then we
Never
just
gave it.
made building the. No, we gave it to the ones that survived. We just OSHA didn't exist, and dynamite is dangerous. And if it were to so happen that many of the Chinese were blasting through the rocks to build the railroad, and a bunch of them would just fucking die, and a lot of it was kind of intentional, then it's fine.
Huh.
Still better than if we let the natives build it,
Fun.
because then we'd have to give them rights.
Fun. I know in the US what we did is like it was weird because like we acknowledged like Native American like groups as like countries, and then we were like, hey, we're gonna make a treaty with you. Oh, that treaty, okay, we're gonna renegotiate, and we're also gonna kill a couple of y'all.
No, we did that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like we eventually negotiate. It wasn't even negotiations. It was us like it was gunship negotiation. It was us like, hey, fuckers, do y'all want to like? Yeah, we want to build shit. Hey, can we like, get some territory? And they're like, oh, maybe not. And we're like, do you want to fucking die? Like,
yeah.
So.
Do you, so that whole like cultural genocide thing where we steal the kids? Can you guess when that stopped?
The 1990s, I believe.
1999, and we apologized in 2008.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
It took that long. It was literally more than 100 years of just absolutely culturally genociding people. And we're still, technically, our own government has admitted and said that we are still genociding the native population. Turns out lots of doctors tend to just, forcibly sterilize indigenous people that give birth in their hospitals.
Fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
A lot of times against their consent.
I will say that is like the one, and this is like abstracting this for a dumb reason. That is like the one thing that I've talked to Canadians on this before. That is like the one thing that y'all somehow did worse than us. Like y'all somehow genocided Native Americans worse than the United States did, which
everyone thinks that we're so happy. It's just that we killed so many natives that there aren't enough of them to talk about their fucking issues.
Yeah.
And they're so spread out geographically, and so they can't talk to each other. So it's hard for them to organize any sort of political stuff, especially since we've basically just given them their own land. And there's like essentially 300 different countries in Canada. And each of them is like little reserves, and each of them is their own little thing. They have their own little jurisdiction, and they have everything that they can do there on their own, except water rights, because we would never want to give water rights to a native reservation, because that would be bad, actually. So actually outside my city, there's a native reservation that is next to the lake that fuels the water, like that is our drinking water lake. So when we get drinking water, it's from this lake, and it's beautiful, pristine, great. We have the greatest tap water in the world. Manitoba specifically has like 100,000 lake. It's ridiculous. The native reserve that's on that lake can't use that lake to drink from. Legally, they're not allowed to. They don't have running water.
Oh my God.
They have to buy bottled waters and use that, because they're not allowed to use the lake that's right next to them, that they've historically always used, because that's our water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad. I know America has like a similar issue where like a lot
Yep.
of native reservations we have are like horrible when it comes to like water. But
Hmm.
like the whole like, hey, y'all have used this water for centuries and like, but fuck you, you don't get water rights. Everyone else does, but you don't specifically. That is exceedingly fucked.
Yeah, no, no. Like we all of our evil was kind of basically just fully concentrated on hating the indigenous because and my personal philosophy is that it's the only thing that the French and the English could agree on, and even then, not really. That's how the Métis were born, which is when the Frenchmen basically befriended the indigenous and intermingled, and now we have a whole new minority system. It's
yeah,
great.
yeah, but hey, that's the joy of living in a colonial state. Oh god.
Yay!
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, I will say at least y'all didn't have the issue of slavery.
Yeah, sure. We can
Y-
say that.
yet. Yet. Hey, listen.
Mhm.
In my opinion, I think you should take the Quebecois and you should make them experience actual oppression. That's a joke. That's a
You know
joke.
the whole the whole Bugs Bunny he saws off Florida
Yep.
and sends it into the Atlantic. We're just gonna do that to Quebec
Yeah.
and just send them off.
Yeah. I mean, if I named like Canadian provinces, like would you be able to tell me like a stereotype about each one of them?
I can tell you most of them. Yes,
Okay. British Columbia.
they're stoners. All of them are just like surfer dude stoners, despite most of them having not been to the beach because it's too cold.
Fair. Saskatchewan.
Fuck Saskatchewan. Sincerely, a Manitoban. They're basically Manitoba, but the one people know about.
Alberta.
Alberta is oil hicks and Texans essentially is the same stereotype. Um, everyone's in an oil field and they're all uber conservative.
Fun. Manitoba.
Manitoba, you want to get stabbed? Other than that, honey dill and yeah, no, that's about it. Honey dill and getting stabbed.
Hmm.
Also, home of the Slurpee.
Fun. Ontario.
Ontario is
Minus Toronto.
okay. Ontario is beautiful. The stereotype I would give it is basically Seattle. If outside of Seattle was just Montana the entire time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Greater Toronto region.
The Greater Toronto region, they're all a bunch of hicks. It's like you have Alberta has an identity, Saskatchewan has an identity, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and all of Ontario until you get to Toronto/Ottawa and all that area is the same identity. It's just people out in the woods going to their cabins, going fishing, and that's about it.
Hmm. Okay.
Our personality trait is being able to fish.
Hey, that's good. Toronto.
Toronto is basically shitty New York. So they're all assholes. They all hate each other, but it's -40.
Oh, fun.
And it doesn't matter what system of measurement you're using, it's -40.
Well, hey, at least Toronto has the beautiful fucking Lake Ontario and the CN Tower. I will say, CN Tower,
This is true.
very beautiful.
CN Tower is fun. Very fun. Drop a penny from there, it ends up
Good.
in China.
Yeah. Quebec.
Quebec is the stereotype I like to use is Quebec is to France what Texas is to the rest of the United States. So you know how you guys have a stereotypical Southerner accent?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Quebec is to French people in France. French France people are all like hoity-toity and have not been not been a little bit of they're not as insular in France because in France they're so French that they can afford to lose a few French words to English. So like they use stuff like instead of saying arrête, which is the proper French word for stop, they just say stop, which is a French just saying stop in French. Quebec because it is surrounded on all sides by English and needs to contain its identity, has basically held on to 18th century French its entire time, and as such is basically unrecognizable and sounds like backwoods swill water to actual French people.
Fun.
As a French person, and I'm from Manitoba. I'm the French person who's an even more bastardized version of that.
Well, hey, gotta love Quebec. New Brunswick.
New Brunswick. Once you get into the Maritimes, it's the unintelligible English. You get your boots. You get your It's essentially a heavy Irish accent, and you can't understand a lick of it. Every single Atlantic, like the Maritimes, all of them, they're all the same. Labrador people are fucking weirder than the rest for whatever reason.
And what about Prince Edward Island?
They're all potato farmers. All Fun. 2 of them.
I will say, when I saw like Prince Edward Island on a map, I was like, oh, that's like a part of like probably Quebec. When I found out it was a province, I was like,
oh, it's not a province.
Why?
Their biggest issue that they've had in the past few years is the coronavirus was such a big deal for them that they cut off their bridge, their one land bridge to get. That's it, and they solved COVID.
Oh my god!
Oh shit! I disconnected my headphones. Hold on.
Oh my! Wait. How?
And we're back.
Wait.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Sorry?
I was looking at a Prince Edward Island's population. No fucking shot. No, wait, hold up. What's the population of my city?
Probably bigger.
My city isn't even... My city has almost double the population of Prince Edward Island. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a meme. It's just a joke. They invented that province as a joke. And, yeah. So when COVID, the biggest issue they've had in the recent years is that they can't get their potatoes off their island because of COVID restrictions. That's why they lifted restrictions, is because they couldn't get their potatoes off the island.
Poor Prince Edward Island.
Yep.
Oh god, that is horrific. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wait, the current premier of Prince Edward Island is Dennis King from the Progressive Conservative Party?
Oh yeah, that's the fucking insano ones. That's ultra Republicans. Or no, basically just a normal Republican. Because everything in Canada is shifted further left wing. So we have the Liberals, which are just liberals. And then the Conservatives, which are like basically a Democrat, but like a bit more pro-gun and a bit and like anti-abortion, sometimes kind of, not really, because it's not a popular position. So like they're like left-wing or further right-wing Democrats. And then we have the People's Party, which is the PPC. They're your Republicans, essentially. They're the people, they were born out of Trump. They follow Trump. They get their ideology from Trump, the American ex-president. They're ones that did the fucking truckers convoy and shit. It was fucking annoying. And then obviously you have NDP, which are based as fuck.
Indeed. That's so fun. That's wow. Okay.
Oh, and because of coalition governments, you can vote for whoever you want, and you're not throwing away your vote.
That is based. I will say Canada is significantly better at that than the U.S. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's another province? You already said Newfoundland and Labrador. Those are like the fucking weirdos.
I would say things about Nunavut and Northwest Territories and Yellowknife, but
who lives there?
Pretty much. Who it's either
Inuit.
It's either Inuit people who have been there forever and will stay there forever, and have to pay $20 for a bag of Lay's potato chips, or it's Catholic missionaries who have been sent there to try to convert them.
Fun.
Yep.
Fun. Wow.
You make tons of money if you go up there, though. they're so starved for workers that anyone can just go up there, work for a little bit, come back down, and you've got a sizable amount of money.
I mean, reasonably, it's fucking miserable up there, I imagine.
I mean, it's no more miserable than down here. I live in the world's coldest city by
Fun.
major population. I have gotten to minus 50 Celsius in my lifetime. Which, what is minus 50? Minus 58. That's without wind.
I've never been in the minuses in my life, and I'm talking Fahrenheit. So,
The snow is taller than is semi-truck. And so it's regular to drive down the highway and just see car after car in the ditches because they lost traction and just fell. This winter was especially bad. I spent 8 hours on the highway stuck because the people ahead of me got stuck and the people behind me had tried to stop and got into a pileup behind me. So I was stuck between both for 8 hours.
fun.
Until eventually the cops separated the semi-trucks around us all and put, basically, like Moses, parted the Red Sea of semi-trucks so that we could go into oncoming traffic on the highway to get out of there.
Oh, God. Hey, now you gotta love those Canadian truckers.
Yep. Fucking why do I live in a place where the air hurts my face? It hurts my face to walk outside.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, I live in a state where, like, if we get, like, an inch of snow, our fucking grocery stores will be barren because people are fucking stupid.
I have seen like whenever Texas gets snow, I see pictures of people driving and like being fucking idiots, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. Granted,
No.
Texas is not a place that should get snow. Fuck those assholes.
This is true. The fact that a lot of people in the world haven't experienced a snow day, though, I will always hold that over them because, goddamn, I'm sorry to hear that you all haven't experienced a snow day.
Oh, wait,
You just wake up, school's closed.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've had snow days. Used to fucking climate change. Fuck.
Okay, so what is a snow day for you guys? 'Cause I've only ever had one, and it's when we were in a state of emergency.
Oh, for us, it is. We get 2 inches of snow, and us being fucking Southerners don't know how to handle that shit. So
I had to walk 2 kilometers, so that's like about a mile and a bit in a blizzard, all the way to my bus stop, and then wait for 10 minutes in my bus while the bus showed up 10 minutes late, just to get to school. And we stay at school. This was not enough. Like minus 40, the minus 50 days, that's not enough to cancel.
Well, I will say that does give Canadians one advantage. If the U.S. ever invades y'all can just fucking Russia us, you know? Just
This is true.
Russian winter us.
I mean, to be fair, we did burn down your White House.
Yeah, but, you know, we have nukes.
We were your first L. We were your first L in history. It's great.
Yeah, but, you know, now you're our biggest... Well, no, we are your biggest trading partner.
Yeah.
We have a
No, you're our
trading
pants.
partner.
You're our pants and our hat.
Indeed, and without those you would be kicked out of many establishments, so who wins really? Team America, World Police. Listen, I would be so gracious to accept Canada as the 51st state. I'm fucking with you.
I would love to say yes, but you see, the thing about that is I like being able to travel abroad and then people actually liking us. My dad actually has a story where he was in, I can't remember if it was Vietnam or Cuba, somewhere in the like South America, where he went there, and apparently he was at a bar with like a local, and everyone there was really pissed off, and like he could see like it was getting really, really tense, and they were like bumping into him. He's this 14-year-old redhead, and he's being bumped into. People are like spouting things at him, they're kind of spitting towards him, and he goes to his friend and he says, Pablo, I think they think I'm American. Can you please tell these people that I'm Canadian? And so his friend's like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, please just tell them I'm Canadian. And then his friend Pablo goes over. He's like, yeah, no, he's Canadian. And apparently, it's like if they flipped a switch, and the entire bar was like erupted with joy, and they're like, no, he's fine, it's all good. And it went from, I mean, they're like, oh, sorry, they bought him drinks. It was like it was this whole thing. Like, people fucking hate Americans, bro.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? We don't need them to hate us because we already hate ourselves. So, America. But I suppose it's high time to begin wrapping up. I did have fun talking with you, and I'd like to talk with you in the future.
No problem. Do you ever have anything you want to talk about? I am very argumentative, and yeah.
Fun. Wait, actually, this is like a question, not to like go into this topic, but I do want to know like how much Canadians pay attention to like, I guess, American shit. Have you been paying attention to the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial?
I have. Okay, so first part of that question: Canadians know more about American politics than we do about Canadian politics. It's sad, really sad, but 90% of our media is American media. So it's to the point where people will quote the American Constitution as if it applies here. We don't have a freedom of speech declaration in our Constitution, but people still quote the First Amendment. It's fucked. But yeah, for the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing, I just hella stayed out. I don't care. They're rich people. Why do I give a fuck about rich people?
Fair.
They're arguing.
Fair assessment. Hey, trust me, I agree. And also, the 51st state offer does still stand.
I mean, yeah, but like, I mean, then we'd have to fucking give up gun control. I wouldn't have health care. I like health care. Well, it's nice.
Well, think of it like this, like, you know, you keep your political parties. I think we could do like a hybrid. We could do like Comerica.
Where... you guys get healthcare on the weekends. We keep it for
the... yeah. We could, it's like we could like take your parliamentary structure, you know, fucking strike out the president. You get to live in like DC or Ottawa. It's the fucking new prime minister's choice or some shit. Live in DC. DC is a significantly nicer city. I've looked at Ottawa on like maps. It is a fucking disgrace that the prime minister's official residence is like right next to a bunch of suburbanite houses. That is fucking ridiculous.
But okay, I have a question for you. How does going to the doctor work in the States? Because like I went today. I went for a full physical and everything. I just showed up, they did it, and then I left. Like there was no paperwork, there's no nothing. I just showed up.
Oh.
Like, how does going to the doctor work in the States?
Oh, it's quite simple. You go. Well, first you see if your insurance covers the doctor. You go. They talk with you. They give you an exorbitant bill, but don't worry, your insurance will cover most of it. And then you have to pay $100 unless your insurance doesn't cover it. Sorry.
Jesus.
Ooh.
Jesus. Fuck.
They will charge you. If you say that you've been stressed recently, just as an aside, they will charge you for slight therapy. If you've been dealing with back pain, they will give you an ibuprofen, and then they will charge you $40 for that. You know, it's fun. Jeez. It's fun. And then, you know, you also have to pay insurance dues at the end of the month and premiums and copays. It's fun. We're fucked.
I had an STD scare. They gave me a bunch of pills and then said, "All right, now now wear a condom," and that's about it. That's it.
Yeah.
But Jesus fuck.
No,
it sounds like such a headache.
I will say, like, my current game plan right now, I'm being 100% honest with you. I'm planning on like blasting through senior year with like amazing fucking grades, and then I'm planning on like somehow getting into like the University of Toronto or some shit. Like, or any Canadian university for that matter, because by the time I'm like in college in my freshman year, it's gonna be 2024. I believe, yeah, because next year 2023. So when I'm in college, I'm gonna be in my sophomore year. Um,
Uh-huh.
and in 2024, it's the presidential, and if Donald Trump somehow doesn't conk out in between now and 2024, then he's gonna be running for president again. And if he wins,
Mm-hmm.
we're fucked.
Yeah.
And I need
Um,
to get out of Dodge so that I don't get killed. So
this is true. Yes, this is very true. I recommend BC because it's prettier and cooler, and um, but it is much more. It's basically as expensive as Toronto. Toronto and BC are the same expensive wise, and university will be hella expensive if you're coming as a foreign student.
yeah. Yeah, but you know what? That's what that is for. So I'll just do that.
That's actually why our province still exists, is because everyone who wants to go to BC and the other one, they realize, oh shit, it's so expensive to live here. Then they come to Manitoba.
Hey, fun. Hey, maybe I could like room with you in 2 fucking years.
Let's go.
Yeah. Forget castle doctrine. We are going to share a castle. It's gonna be a
Oh,
it's gonna be a
we're gonna
commune.
build a new fortress arc. Let's go.
Yes, indeed. But off that note, I did really have a lot of fun talking with you. Stay
No
Canadian, my
problem.
kind friend. Y'all are
No
cool.
problem.
And
Enjoy.
indeed, you
Um,
too. And plug yourself once again, please.
14 underscore max underscore 14 because I made it when I was a child. Uh, check my Twitter. I reply and argue with people on Twitter constantly, far too much more than I should. Anyways, have yourself a nice day. I'm gonna head out.
Will do. You too.
Bye bye.
That was a very fun conversation. Got a little heated at points, but you know what, that happens whenever you're like arguing from two different frameworks. I really like that. Go follow them. Links in the description. Don't be a toxic piece of shit. With that being said, thank you for watching. I've been a pillow. My links in the description as always, and I am out. I would do like a little fade out, but I don't have that, so I'm just gonna. Ooh, it works. It's so low quality.